In 2009, we were, my husband and I, Tony and I, were having dinner with Setu and his wife, Soyini Guyton, and we got talking about the vacant lot, very large vacant lot that had been abandoned by the Wilder Foundation when they moved to their new headquarters. And Tony said, gee, wouldn't it be great if that was a farm? From that casual mention, we kind of orchestrated a multi-year, 3-year campaign to turn it into a reality. What we realized in that process, with a lot of help and support from all sorts of community members and from the Trust for Public Land, was that Frogtown actually has less green space in general than any other neighborhood in St. Paul. The campaign for Frogtown Park and Farm was wildly successful. It's now a new city park with a 5-acre farm included in it. But the problem of green space and the distribution and access to appropriate and easily gotten to green space in the neighborhood persists. Luckily, it's paired with an apparent problem of a lot of vacant lots and a lot of vacant land in the neighborhood as a result of the recession in 2007, 2008, where literally hundreds of homes were demolished. There are a lot of vacant lots in Frogtown. So our purpose, Frogtown Green's purpose, is to make sure that that apparent problem actually is viewed as an asset that we can build. We can not build homes on necessarily, but build parks and urban farms and tree nurseries and pollinator parks and places for people to play bocce ball or kata or flag football on, because green space is as critical to a neighborhood and to a sense of community as anything else. Frogtown has gone through a lot of evolutions in the 35 years that we've lived here. I moved in as a completely naive person who liked the look of the maple cabinets in the kitchen of the first house that we bought, which was a couple of blocks down from this current house where we live. That's still in Frogtown. In the 80s, we organized around the crack epidemic. That was a terrible scourge for the neighborhood, for whatever reason, for a variety of reasons. Prostitution and drug transactions have kind of taken a backseat in terms of a neighborhood problem. And so we have the luxury of being able to look at more quality of life issues like green space, like transportation, like pedestrian safety, bicycling, those kinds of things that make a neighborhood really comfortable, not just a place where you can survive. Frogtown is a long and narrow neighborhood, and there are sections of the neighborhood where the Trust for Public Land's goal of an accessible, attractive, and appropriate green space within a 10-minute walk of a resident still has not been achieved. So that's literally what we're working toward, is securing permanent access to spaces so that we have that kind of distribution of green space throughout the neighborhood. There's a lot of ways in which the city could help with that. For example, there are a number of vacant lots right along Dale Street that were created when the city and the county widened Dale Street in order to make it more conducive to commuter traffic reaching the freeway. They tore out an entire swath of homes and businesses on the east side of Dale Street in particular, leaving vacant lots that have literally not been built on for 30 years. So part of our campaign is to rebuild those lots in green ways. That's why we have our Asian demonstration garden at Dale and Van Buren and our tree nursery at Dale and LaFond, and why we support Stone's Throw Urban Farm also on the west side of Dale and LaFond. If the city isn't going to develop vacant lots, we feel that we have the right to ask for those lots to be sold or donated to us, to Frogtown Green, and our volunteers, so that we can make use of them. Frogtown's a great place. We've raised 2 beautiful kids here. Our daughters feel pretty enfranchised in the neighborhood, even though they don't live, with us anymore. They live very close by, and I have been privileged to, after a childhood of moving around from one place to another almost every 2 or 3 years, to feel like Frogtown's my home.